Hey guys, what's up? GoldfishRimz here once again with you today. Gonna be playing some Smite. Today's Smite video is gonna be a little bit different though because I did notice that as of right now, my most popular video is the video where me and my team went flawless against the other team, and I was playing as Loki. So I just figured I'd give you guys like a little bit of a tutorial on how I played Loki, if I can even remember how to get there. Okay. Uh, my build, it's not common, but it's not a rare build either. I think pretty, it's pretty common sense. But as you can see, I still use auto skills. I just don't use auto items because I really don't care what order I get my skills. The only thing I would really change is that I get my ultimate at level 4 to help, because that would definitely help my power early on in the game and maybe help me. And as you can see, I am Mastery 4, so there's probably people out there with multiple accounts at Mastery level 10 Loki who think that my build is complete garbage, but I do want to remind you guys that this build, in my opinion at least, it's one of the better builds that I've had for Loki, and I do know there are better builds for, say, single target damage maybe. This build I'm going to be showing you, it is heavily oriented on single target damage. Except the way I do it, I put a little bit of survivability in it, but you can change one or two items in it to be complete single target damage. And when we get in the game, you guys will see what I'm talking about. The main, I think the main damage contributor in this build, if you look here, would either be my Transcendence or my Deathbringer. And if you guys have seen my other video before, you will know this is really the gist of what I use. But I'm just going to go ahead and level up real quick, and I'll just go ahead and walk you guys through the process. What I highly recommend doing when you start a game is always get your Warriors tabby first. Uh, like, whenever I play Joust, because that's the majority of what the videos you're going to be seeing me playing on this channel. Whenever I get Joust, I will sit and wait until minions spawn, and I do have enough for my Warrior tabby. That is always the first piece of equipment I get, and depending on the team composition, if it's a weaker a squishier comp, mean they don't really have any guardians or warriors, I'll get frenzy right off the bat. But if it's not, I will always go shell just for the added survivability to try and pick off a kill. I always start off with transcendence when I can, and usually I'll just go down the line, but depending on the comp, if I need to do more damage, I will go Deathbringer. But as you can see, I use all these: physical power and penetration. If you don't know what Transcendence is, it gives you 35 physical power, 300 mana, and 6 mana per second. And you permanently gain 15 mana per stack and receive 5 stacks for a god kill and 1 stack for minion kill. And you can reach a max of 50 stacks, and additionally, 3% of your mana is converted into physical power. So as you can probably guess, at level 20, I have 1,360 mana, which 3% of that would be converted into just pure physical power. And a lot of people who may play, let's say, casters or warriors, I don't know if they use these, but the warrior tabby, it's a basic item. Generally, a lot of people still do get them, even though they have other things such as the ninja tabby, the reinforced greaves, and the Talaria boots. I've never personally seen anybody use the Talaria boots. I do believe that guardians will probably use the reinforced greaves, and hunters, anybody who's attack speed oriented would probably go with the ninja tabby. Unless you're just oh, what do I want to say? Unless you're like a hunter who doesn't really focus on attack speeds, but your normal attacks hit like a truck. And after Transcendence, depending on the comp, I told you I did usually go Deathbringer, and that gives you 50 physical power and 20% critical strike chance. And the critical, whenever you do hit with a critical, its damage is increased by 40% as well. This is a huge damage buff for Loki. It is just insane how I can go from not hitting very high at all to being able to hit like a truck in the matter of one item. And after Deathbringer, I usually go Jotun's Wrath. Oh, that's not Jotun's Wrath. But that gives you 40 physical power, 150 mana, 10 physical penetration, and 20% cooldown reduction. The stats on it do not look too promising, but the 20% the 20% cooldown reduction, that helps extremely. And when I say extremely, it's really insane. It's just the physical protection. I mean, oh God, why do I keep saying that? The cooldown reduction, that just makes it so I can do my ultimate more often. It makes it so I can do all my abilities more often, as it says in the name. Next, I go with the Brawler Beat Stick. This one is it's pretty effective and useful. It gives you 40 physical power and 20 physical penetration. And whenever I hit an enemy with an ability, I can reduce their healing by 40% for 8 seconds, which is extremely helpful as well. And uh, lastly, I have the Crusher, and that gives me 40 physical power and 20 physical penetration. And each basic attack against towers and phoenixes grant a stack that increases my attack speed by 10% and physical penetration for 5 for 2 seconds with a maximum of 5 stacks. So when this is at max, I can have 50% more attack speed and 25 more physical penetration for 2 seconds, which is extremely helpful. And also, depending on the comp, I might skip out on one of these items up above. Usually I do skip out on the Crusher. And then, depending on the comp, if I need more damage, I will instead go Malice, which gives me 50 physical power and 20% critical strike chance. And when I deal critical strike, I will also do an additional 75% of damage as total physical power as physical damage over the next 3 seconds, which is really, really helpful when you have enemies that are really good at fleeing or escaping. If I was able to, let's just say, use my 3, um, if you see here, my 3 is aim strike, and upon activation, Loki's next basic attack does additional damage within a short time, and that also slows down the enemy. That is extremely helpful. But if I were to do my 3 and then from 3 go hit an enemy with a basic attack and then hit him with my ultimate, which lunges behind them and is basically a guaranteed critical strike, it's bad for the enemy because they just undergo so much damage in a little bit of time. And like I said earlier, I don't really go too much into detail about my abilities because, like I said, the only thing I would really change is that I get my ultimate faster. And with the current build I have now, it is meant for damage. So let's just go see what we can do to Raw real quick. Well, actually, first I will go ahead and get the damage buff that is possible, and also potions. So when you have the gold, always get the elixir of power and the elixir defense, just because they're the best ones. They don't really provide healing per se, but they definitely make up for it in defense and attack power. 1 second, let's just get this damage buff. And as you can see, I just one hit the entire damage buff because that's just the strength that, and because they are just minions and not strong at all. Okay, so let's go on over to Raw. Jeez, I wish there was like a teleport function in this. This is just ridiculous. Pop our Frenzy. And we 2-hit Raw. I don't necessarily know if he had any items to add to defense. But as you can see, my auto attacks alone are hitting for 600 to 700. And I don't even have my complete stacks of Transcendence either, which when those stack up, I will get more powerful. As you can see, I just hit him for 1,211. And we can also see our damage over here, so we don't have to keep waiting for the respawn. But if I were to sit there and full burst on him, it does a decent amount of damage, but also he is level 1, so that's not really fair. Alright, and another build I usually run with is, instead of having the Crusher, like I said, I will go ahead and use the Malice instead. That is really the only difference in it. So once again, let's run on over to Raw real quick to see just the difference that makes. And as you can see, my first ability hit him for over 1,000 damage, which is just unheard of. And there we go again with 1,000 damage. And we're gonna try it one more time, except this time we're gonna use our ultimate with our first ability, so he takes a little bit more damage. And as you can see, two hit him again. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you my very last build that I. Hey, Raw, get out of here, guy. My face. All right. And I will go ahead and show you my last build that I use whenever I need a little bit more survivability. A lot of people might disagree with this build because it does take away a little bit of the possible damage I could have. I do believe it that one. This one doesn't match my build at all. Not only does it have physical lifesteal, but it also has attack speed, which is not like my complete Loki build at all. But let's just see what it can do for us. I'm gonna go over here and let some minions attack me to take my health down. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's find something else to attack me. I hate that chick so much, she's so annoying. Let's just go ahead and just see what we can do to this guy. I'll pop my frenzy. And as you can see with this lifesteal, I can almost flawlessly kill this guy. And this is just complete basic attacks, except for that first attack. So there is a fire giant kill, and that's an additional 50 attack power. And let's go kill the Gold Fury. And okay, she's dead already, so that's great. And lastly, let's go kill this guy. I don't even know. Oh, this ain't a person. You can kill him anyways. Let's see. Alright, you get that. And I do believe that is it. I do believe I showed you all the possible combinations I use. Alright, and just for one more go, since I do have these other two buffs here, jungle damage buff, fire giant smite, 25% additional attack power, almost complete transcendence, which almost gives me max damage, and my soul eater, which just gives me more lifesteal in 15 seconds. So let's just go kill this guy real quick, just because it's fun. And as you can see, my screen is just blowing up with huge red numbers because you just can't compete. And as you can see, 1300 damage, no contest at all, no competition. Alright guys, well I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any other questions about my build, I know I don't really run a common build at all. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave it down in the comments. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you liked it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.